Two stories about flight we will discuss today. Second part, that is Black Aeroplane. So before we understand second part of the story, the two stories about flight, let us know Black Aeroplane author Frederick Forsyth. Frederick Forsyth is a British author known for his gripping political thrillers, including The Day of the Jackal. A former journalist and spy, his novels often feature intricate plots and realism. So, this is all about Frederick Forsyth. Remember, he is writing the thing which is full of thrills. Okay, and famous work that he had written is The Day of the Jackal. Let us begin to understand about the black aeroplane. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my Dakota, old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. So in this paragraph, the author says that he was flying an aeroplane named as an old Dakota aeroplane or airplane, you can say, that was at night high above the peaceful French countryside, crossing the French countryside. The sky was clear and the moon and stars are visible. The narrator feels happy and relaxed, dreaming about returning home to England and spending time with his family. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and he enjoys being alone in the calm skies. I should call Paris control room soon, I thought, as I looked down past the, no- the nose of the aeroplane. I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris, Control, Dakota, DS 088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England over. So, passage, the narrator is giving the information while flying. His plane, Dakota, realizes that he should contact Paris control room. Looking down, he sees the light city ahead. He switches on the radio and communicates with Paris control room, introducing his Dakota DS 088 and informing them that he's heading towards England. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS 088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12° west now. DS 088 map and the compass switched over to my second and last and turned o- Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast. I thought a good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So here the narrator tells us that he receives an immediate response from Paris control room advising him to turn 12 degrees west. After checking his map and compass, he switches his last fuel tank and makes the turn towards England. He feels confident and excited, thinking about arriving in time for a big English breakfast. The flight is going very smoothly and seems very easy. My eyes, the compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. So here in this passage, the narrator is talking about that once inside the storm clouds, everything turns completely black, making it impossible for the narrator to see anything outside the aeroplane. The Dakota begins to shake and rumble and twist in the turbulent air. When the narrator checks the compass, he was shocked to see it's spinning uncontrollably. It has stopped working. To make matters worse, all the other instruments failed, and he tries to use the radio, and that also was not functioning. So he was very uh, scared with the situation inside the stormy cloud. Paris, Paris control, Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm, then in the black clouds. Quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. So the narrator tries to contact, in this passage, the narrators try to contact Paris control room on the radio, but there was no response. It was dead, just like the other instruments, lost in the storm with no visibility. He felt helpless, and suddenly he saw another aeroplane flying close by. Even though it has no lights, he can clearly see the pilot, who turns towards him and waves his hand, and the narrator feels and realized, and he was relieved to see another person in the storm. Follow me, he was saying. Follow me. He knows that I am lost. I thought he is trying to help me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there of me in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. Starting to feel frightened again, but then he started and I followed through the storm. So, in this paragraph, the narrator tells that mysterious pilot gestures for the narrator to follow him, knowing he's lost and trying to help him. The strange aeroplane turns slowly north, leading the Dakota, and the narrator gladly follows the strange, mysterious plane, feeling relieved. For half an hour, the Dakota fills the plane, that means keep on following through the clouds, however, with only enough fuel for 5 or 10 more minutes. The narrator starts to feel scared again. Just then, the mysterious aeroplane begins descending, and the narrator follows it down through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw two long, straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty, nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. So here in this passage, the narrator tells us that he suddenly emerges from the clouds and sees of lights ahead, a runway at an airport. Feeling relieved and safe, he looks back to find the mysterious black aeroplane that guided him, but it had disappeared. The sky was empty, clear, and the black aeroplane was nowhere to be seen. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center who was and who the other pilot was. I want to say thank you. Thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. The aeroplane up there in this storm, no other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the one I could see on the radar. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? The narrator in this part tells us that after landing safely in England airport, the narrator goes to the control center to ask about the other pilot who had helped him. He wants to thank him. However, the woman at the control center was surprised and laughed, explaining that no other aeroplanes were flying that night and was the only one visible on radar. This leaves the narrator wondering who the mysterious pilot was and how he was guided safely through the storm without any working instruments or fuel. So finally left us at the end the suspense and in mystery. So the story yet to continue. Okay, but we can conclude like this that help can from unexpected, mysterious sources when we need it most. Okay, so the moral is finally that help can come from unexpected, mysterious sources when we need it most. It happens in our life too. So finally, to sum up, the black aeroplane is like this: that black aeroplane, a pilot flies his old Dakota from France to England. While dreaming of home, he encounters a dangerous storm. His instruments fail and he loses contact Paris control room. Suddenly, what happened? A mysterious black aeroplane appears and guides him through the storm. Following it like an obedient child, the pilot eventually sees a runway and lands safely to England. When when he inquires about the other plane from the control room of England, the control room woman tells him no other planes were flying, leaving him puzzled about the mysterious. pilot. So this is all about the black aeroplane. Okay, help yourself, have presence of mind during the situation which you face in life, difficult situations that you face in life. So thank you, and again, read and revise for more understanding and clarity of the chair. Thank you for spending your time. Thank you. Take care.